Hey travelers, welcome back to Ghostlight. Now, I've been spending a lot of time focusing on the rare things in No Man's Sky. On Sunday, we explored a few phantom star systems, and while I did do a brief explainer at the beginning of the stream, I thought it might be a good idea to double back and break down exactly how you, dear interlopers, can reach these systems, regardless of which platform you're playing on. Now, I couldn't decide which series to present these under, so I'm going to start a new one that I'm simply calling Rarities. Interested? Well, good. Let's begin. On this first episode of Rarities, reaching phantom and shadow star systems. But what exactly is a phantom star system? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is a star system that's unreachable by either the galactic map or the portal network. You may have heard of shadow star systems, which can be reached by the galactic map, but due to an anomaly in how the portal network identifies a system in a region, it can't be portaled to. Now, this is different. Phantom stars exist because of how the galaxies are generated, but they're hidden to either make the processing load more manageable or just to make the system placement seem more naturally occurring. Phantom star systems exist between accessible star systems in any given region. Any region has the potential for 4,096 star systems, but the game limits just how many are actually made available. In-game accounts on the highest number of accessible star systems in a region vary, but some have reported up to 605 and as low as 218 systems. But this number is procedural, so it will vary from region to region. But if a region has 600 accessible star systems, that leaves a potential of 3,496 phantom systems. So really, a better way to think about this would be to consider the normal in-game generation of each of the 256 galaxies as a front-end interface of a much larger system. The galaxies are numbered 0 to 255, so let's look at Galaxy 0, or Euclid. Now, to follow this guide, you'll need access to the No Man's Sky Service Bot app, which can be found at nomansapp.com. I use Zane's World Pathfinder tool and a site to convert numbers between hexadecimal and decimal values. I went to one on rapidtables.com. I'll have links for all of these in the description. Okay. So here we see a two-dimensional representation of the galaxy superimposed against a grid. But if you spend any time perusing the galactic map, you'll know that the galaxy isn't two-dimensional at all. It has depth and length and width. That's 3 dimensions. And the grid, that has 3 dimensions as well. Each cube created by this grid is called a voxel, and the galaxy is measured in voxels, measuring 4,096 voxels long and wide and 256 voxels deep. It's a pizza box, as some people are fond of saying. So how does this knowledge of our pizza box existence help get you into a phantom star system? Well, if you're like me and you play on console, you don't have access to save editors like NomNom, which is the typical way people get to phantom systems. But luckily, we can use nomansapp.com. This site, among other things, acts as a virtual taxi. You simply need to input a portal address, choose the target galaxy, and click Start. But didn't I say you can't portal to a phantom system? Well, yeah, that's right. But these systems do have glyphs. They just aren't recognized by the portal network, and inputting them into a terminal will result in an error. So how can we determine what a phantom system's glyphs are if we can't get to that system to begin with? Well, you can do one of 2 things. Number 1, use a point of reference that you can access. Take Dras Leona, our capital planet, for example. If you're on the planet, you can easily see its glyphs through photo mode. Or the galactic coordinates using a signal booster. In Dras Leona's case, the address is as follows. Now this first string of letters, this is a signal booster ID. These next three groups are your voxel X, Y, and Z coordinates. These are shown as hexadecimal code, which you can convert using a hex to decimal converter, and if you do so, we end up with X 3495, Y 128, Z 1206. Now this final group is the system number. Drasleona is in the Tiamat system, which is 319. This is the code you want to change to find phantom systems. Now, as I mentioned, the total number of systems in a region varies. However, it's a safe bet to aim for any number between 600 and 4095, as 4096 tends to loop back around to 0. Now remember, you'll need to translate this address into glyphs. If you're using a glyph translator, such as Pilgrim Star Path, you may find that it limits you to system 768, and it would give an outside the galaxy error for anything higher. But I found that Zane's World Pathfinder tool has no problem converting right up to 4096. So, choose a target system that you suspect might be a phantom star. Convert that number from decimal to hexadecimal. Let's choose 4095. That converts to 0FFF. Replace the last set of 4 numbers with your new hexadecimal and get your new target galactic address. Use this new address in Zane's World Pathfinder tool, and you'll get a glyph address. Next, head to the anomaly and wait in your ship. Once there, head on over to nomansapp.com, follow the instructions to get started. Once you've got the bot friended and you have your No Man's Sky friend code listed, choose Location Transfer and input your glyphs. Make sure to have the correct galaxy listed. When you're ready, hit start. Pretty quickly you'll see the service bot enter your group. Once this has happened, you can leave the anomaly. In doing so, you'll be prompted to calibrate your location, choose the service bot system, and there you have it. Now, I said one of two ways. The second way to find these glyphs is very similar to the first. However, instead of using a point of reference to build from, you can choose numbers at random. For the first and third groups, which again are X and Z, you can translate a value between 0 and 4096. But be warned, for some reason when I did this, anything over 4094 would loop me back to 0. And for the second grouping, which is the Y, you choose a value that's less than 2056. And finally, once again, you'll select your system just as before. And that's it, everything else is the same. Now, once you arrive, you'll notice that you're still able to see the system and planets in the Discovery tab. The one exception to this seems to be if you go to System 0000. In that case, you'll get a glitch listing of the last system that you were in. You'll be able to tell that you're in a phantom star system by looking at the galactic map. When you do so, you'll see that your current location isn't marked anywhere, because the system you're in doesn't exist on the galactic map. But be warned, I had some issues with freezing while looking at the galactic map, so do this with some caution. But there you go, you made it to a phantom star system. Okay, so what about shadow systems? Well, once again, a shadow star system is at the end of the accessible systems list on the galactic map. Due to a rounding error in that region, it's left off the portal network. Now, these systems are rare mainly because of the amount of work one potentially needs to do to find one. And finding these are tricky for a couple of reasons. First, and as we discussed before, each region has a random number of systems. And second, the systems don't generate in a sequential or clear order, so it's hard to anticipate which system is next just by looking at the galactic map. You have to enter the system, land, and check the signal booster to determine that number. But with a little bit of guesswork and a lot of bit of luck, you might be able to narrow it down in just a few moves. On a Tuesday night stream this week, I tried to find the Shadow Star system when I realized that my reference system was number 499. I asked the chat to choose a number between 500 and 600, and Reverend Thorn offered up 567, which turned out to be a phantom and not a shadow system. I used No Man's App to jump halfway between 500 and 567, down to 534, which was still a phantom system. Then 516, which was still a phantom system. So I tried 508, which was a phantom system, but 505 was a normal system. When I jumped to 507, and that was a normal system, I knew this was it, the Shadow Star. Because I'd already been to 508. I knew that 507 was the last normal system in the region. To confirm this, I took down the glyphs, headed to my portal base, and tried out the address. And of course, I got an error, confirming that this was a system inaccessible to the portal network, but not the galactic map. And that's it. I hope you liked this first episode of Rarities. Tune in next time when I discuss a relic from the Atlas Rises era that can still be found today, the Wild Base Computer. I'd like to send a big shout out to my YouTube members at the Riftwalker level, Miss Merc and Raging Furball. Thank you both so much for your continued support. You too can become a member by clicking the join button below this video. And I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And as always, dear Riftwalkers, I'll see you tonight.